Romania. Europe's middle ground where east meets slightly less east. Hard meets slightly less hard, and your wallet meets its demise. And also my adoptive country. Hi, it's me again, that guy that talks shit about countries and Reddit's worst nightmare, the self-proclaimed Bosnian Bozgor, the hero you didn't want but deserve. Again, I'm talking to you, Reddit. Here again with another video about Romania, because God knows we haven't done enough of these. Due to popular demand, and by popular demand I mean you guys spamming my comment section to make part 2 after all the things I hate about Romania, I've decided to make one about all the things that blueberry my muffin about Romania. And if you'd like me to make a part 3 about all the things I'm ambivalent about Romania, make sure to tell me in the comment section down below. So without further ado, here are all the things that I love about Romania. To start right off the bat, I'm fat as fuck. And if you're watching this off Reddit, you probably are too. The only difference is, I gained my weight eating delicious traditional Romanian food, while you gained it by ordering one too many quarter-pounders from Mickey D's. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, Romanian food is one of the most underrated and delicious national cuisines in the world, with far more variation than you'd expect in a Balkan country, and by that I mean they actually eat proper sides with meat, and not just more meat. Now, you have your classics such as mici, aka cevapi, sarmale, jumări, aka čvarci or tâpărchi, or anything that involves beans or cabbage. However, the food doesn't stop there. As the country lies in the meeting point of Greek, Turkish, Eastern and Central European influence, each of these cultures heavily influenced the food, and ultimately left the country with a much larger repertoire of recipes. Alongside that, a lot of the already well-known and beloved dishes that I have already named beforehand have their own Romanian twist to them because of this. Some of my personal favorite dishes consist of ciorba de burtă, which is a soup made of beef or lamb stomach, which was cooked in a fermented wheat bran, which gives it a unique regional taste that differs by taste quite a bit from the similar stomach dishes from neighboring countries. Palanets, a popular street food pie, which can be filled with almost any filling you can imagine, from ham, cheese and ketchup, to cabbage and cottage cheese, to chocolate or cheese with fruits. If you can imagine it, it probably exists as a filling. Drob, a meatloaf made out of lamb innards and boiled eggs in the middle. Papanash, a traditionally boiled but more commonly today deep-fried donut made out of cheese dough and covered in a blueberry or cherry jam with cream. And varza la Cluj, a regional deconstructed sarma in a form of a lasagna. Alongside this, you have a lot of other foods that if I just keep on mentioning would warrant their own video. And you also have a lot of regional variety. For example, in Dobruja, a lot of their specialties are fish-based, and honestly, I have never in my life tasted a better carb than in Tulcea. It's also worth mentioning that because of Romania's large immigrant community, many have gone to work in the best kitchens in Italy, Spain, France, hell, even London if you consider it a real place, and brought back their knowledge, techniques, and savings to open up their own restaurants back in their hometowns. As a result, a lot of international cuisine is almost on par with the dishes from their country of origin. You can literally get a pizza practically on par in quality as the pizza in Italy, which is a huge bonus for living in this country. Alright, before I start talking about this section, I would like to ask the Hungarian viewers to just get it out of their system. Okay, are we good now? So, one thing that definitely piqued my interest in moving here has been the history of Romania. Although, much like any other European nation, its history spans millennia, Romania's history is quite unique as it is a Latin island in a sea of Slavs and friends. As a result, Romania's role in the region throughout its history has been quite interesting to say the least. In ancient times, you had the Dacians who stood up to the Romans, ultimately getting conquered and then colonized by them, only to embrace the Roman identity in the end. Throughout the Middle Ages, the Romanians constantly struggled to fight off invasions by much larger and stronger enemies, and in their fight they have created monumental and memorable figures such as Vlad Țepeș and Mihai Viteazu, who have fought their enemies in quite innovative ways, such as making the Turks themselves the kebabs and guerrilla fighting the Hungarians. Even in more recent times, Romania's role in the Warsaw Pact is quite interesting, even though it is quite depressing at times as well, due to the state the country was in. However, its battle against the evils of communism is also admirable, especially as it is the only country that took to the streets to dismantle socialism by force and succeeded. And considering how bad of a state the country was under the Ceausescu's, basically being on par with Albania as the worst countries in Europe, its progress has been tremendous and honestly quite impressive. And although the current history isn't the most exciting one, it is still quite interesting to observe the growth and development of the country since the early 2000s. Béla vagyok, egy gomb, gyárban dolgozom. Now, one of Romania's greatest strengths is by far the people. Now, I know everyone always says that every country has by far the best and most hospitable and friendliest people and whatnot, but are you seriously gonna look me in the eyes and tell me that that can also be said for the Germans or the Finnish? I don't think so. In Eastern Europe and arguably the Balkans, the people more often than not know how to be quite cold and potentially dismissive of foreigners, only ever opening up after they've gotten to know you better. That being the case in some countries more than in others. Nevertheless, this is not that much of a case in Romania. Now, of course you have your assholes like in any country in the world, but more often than not, you will be welcomed by hospitality and curiosity rather than hostility and suspicion. Hell, even striking up a conversation in a bar, a notoriously difficult task to do in Europe, if you're not out with a group of friends, is much easier in Romania, as most of the people here are not allergic to smiling or being genuinely inquisitive to a stranger. Another great aspect of the Romanian peoples is definitely their humor. Now, a dark sense of humor is definitely not unique to the Balkans nor Romania. However, Romanians alongside this love self-deprecating jokes, and nobody rips on Romanians harder than other Romanians. To many foreigners, this might manifest as some sort of self-hatred, but really it's not, and comes from a genuine love of the country and sort of familial teasing. For example, one of my favorite jokes I've heard about in Romania goes as follows. A Romanian finds a magic fairy, and the fairy tells him, "I'll grant you one wish, but whatever you wish, I'll double and give it to your neighbor." The Romanian then says, "I wish to go blind in one eye." Also, cabin parties are the absolute shit. You haven't experienced a party unless you've gone to a cabin party in the middle of nowhere in the Carpathians, gotten piss drunk, and then the next morning woke up in a field with a cow eating your shorts. Or gone out to Someșu Rece to chill by the lake and barbecue some meat while also shooting a gun one of your friends took from home. God bless Romania. As an architecture nerd and a based and building-pilled culture enjoyer with a Greek Renaissance sculpture as my profile picture, trust me when I tell you, Romanian architecture is, as Shakespeare would put it, fucking sweet, dude. Now, of course you have your classic European styles, such as Gothic, Baroque, Art Nouveau, and good old Eastern European commie blocks. However, you also have so many unique styles endemic to Romania. In the north of the country, you have beautiful wooden churches and painted monasteries, which uniquely depict saints on the outside and have held up for hundreds of years. In the hills and mountains of Transylvania, you have so many Gothic churches with a unique Transylvanian twist. As well as them, you have hundreds of fortified churches and castles all over the country, which have inspired so many works of fiction from Bram Stoker to Dark Souls to Resident Evil Village.
Where the hell am I?
And hell, even anime like Fate Apocrypha and Castlevania. There's just so many uniqueness that constantly stimulates your senses. And even when it comes to the styles we all know and love,
this is brilliant, but I like this.
Romania spins Baroque and Art Nouveau in its own way, adding rich jewel tones to its building facades, making them way more rich and colorful than many buildings in cities found in Western Europe. There's just always something to surprise you no matter where you are in the country. Last but not least, we have nature and scenery. Now, if you want to make the argument, Every country in the world has beautiful nature. I would like to dare you to repeat that after taking the train from Romania to Hungary and watching the majestic rolling hills immediately deflate like a 90s porn star's breast implants. You'll then also understand why Hungary desperately wants Transylvania back. Romania has some of the most varied terrain in a single country. You have your hills and multiple ranges of mountains in Transylvania, which are an outdoor enthusiast's wet dream. You literally have the Transylvania road, which is again literally considered the most scenic and beautiful road in the world by esteemed British scholar Jeremy Clarkson.
That's the most amazing road I've ever seen.
Any sort of outdoor activity you can think of, you can do in Romania for far cheaper than any other countries in Europe. Alongside that, you have the Danube Delta, which is a pristine nature reserve, which is one of the most biodiverse regions on the planet. Nearby you also have the beaches of the Black Sea, although not the cheapest, they are still really beautiful. And hell, throughout Oltenia, Muntenia, Banat, and any other flat region in the country, you have some of the most fertile land and great marshlands. Just all in all, you can very rarely get bored with the landscape and the activities it offers. In conclusion, Romania is amazing, unique, extremely underrated, and there is a reason I made it my sweet adoptive home. Anyways, let me know what you think. What do you think about Romania? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, big thank you to these lovely people for supporting my channel. If you wish to support me like they do, become a member today. And don't forget to check out theIronicShop.com, where you can purchase shirts and board games to help the channel. My name is Janos, and you've watched Living Ironically in Europe.
Hey, why are you